everyone. Welcome in. Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I think I'm the only one here right now, so we'll watch for a few people to trickle in. If you're watching over on YouTube or Facebook, appreciate it. You're welcome to watch over there. If you want to get in on the bidding or purchase anything from the Buy It Now, you will have to come over to DibDit on the Knickknacks Marketplace. I'm not sure if DibDit puts a link over there or not, but in any case, just come to search DibDit and then you'll be able to find the live. So today I have antique and vintage ephemera. Hey, Meemaw Lynn, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Wyatt, no live. Appreciate everybody who's come in today. It looks like we have 5 of us in here now. So let me go and kind of start over because I think I was talking to the walls a second ago. So I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. This is my first live on DibDit. So excited about this. I think I know how to do everything. I did do a test stream and played around a little bit. So I think I'm good to go. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to just watch and enjoy all the great ephemera I have today. Or if you want to come on in, you can come to DibDit and search for Franklin Hill Ventures. I think I'm the only one live right now. Hey, Rush Resells, welcome in. And I am over here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So in addition to live selling, I sell on a bunch of static marketplaces and also have 3 antique booths here in the Knoxville area. So if you're ever coming through Knoxville, come see me at West End Antiques, Bearded Antique Mall, or Granny's Attic in Clinton. And speaking of Clinton, if you happen to be anywhere near East Tennessee, make sure next weekend you come to, well, actually this weekend, it's Wednesday, come to the Clinch River Antique Festival in Clinton. It's one of the biggest antique festivals in the country. And there'll be tons of vendors, and all the antique malls have sales and just tons of great deals to be had and a lot of fun. So, all right, let me get a giveaway started and show you what I'm going to give away. I got 5 antique postcards. I believe they're French, but different views of France here. So there's 5 of those. So let me see. I think I go to the store. Oh, and thanks for the one pre-bid I got. Giveaway. Let's start giveaway. All right, that is running, so make sure you get in on that. And just a couple of other things. I do accept requests, so if there's anything in the store you want me to run, you can just put the lot number in the chat and I'll get it brought right up. As far as shipping, the first item is going to be $5. Everything after that's just $1. All the stuff in the Buy It Now is free shipping. So anything you buy from there, I think would then trigger the shipping after that too. But I don't know that for sure. I don't know if your first item on an auction would still be $5 or not. But if somebody does get anything from the Buy It Now, let me know so I'll know for future. Looks like we have 18 people in here. So tell you what, if there's no requests, let's just get started. Let me kind of show you what I got here. Let me take this off real quick. So here's, here is all the stuff I had in the catalog. So all that stuff is the stuff that's got lot numbers. So if you want to request any of that, just put the lot number in the chat. Then I have boxes and boxes and boxes of ephemera that we can dig through. Everything from postcards, photos, I got slides, I have photographs, negatives, newspapers, letters, just about everything you can think of. So let me go in and put the camera this way. It works better for rear facing. And move that, and then we'll get started. All right, with no request, I'm just going to pull something here from the stack of stuff up here, and we'll go ahead and get started. Let's run this first. So this is lot number 25. So let me go in and add that to the stage. May take me just a second to figure my way, navigating everything in here, but so let's see, this is going to be lot 25. I guess you can search. So let me just scroll down, click on that and move to stage. All right, so this is going to be a 1976 Flash Gordon book, and it's like a graphic novel almost, but it's got a lot of great illustrations in it. Did have a stamp this book belongs to, but doesn't look like anybody wrote their name there. But if you look through it, tons of great illustrations. So we'll go ahead and run this first. And I think I have everything set to run at 20 seconds. And that is running now. We'll see if there's any interest in the 1976 Flash Gordon book. If not, we'll put it in the bin of shame over here. All right, no interest in that. So where's everybody from who's in here today? As I mentioned, I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So, or as I like to say, God's country. All right, let me do lot 27. All right, so this is going to be a 1954 watchmaker's journal. I guess it was a magazine that was all about watchmaking. Originally went to somebody in Sterling, Illinois, but there's a lot of really cool old ads and then information about watches, a watchmaker's blower, like a Q&A section. There's a watchmaker's lathe there. So tweezers. So just a really cool vintage old magazine. Hey, Angie Resells, thanks for coming in. Owensboro, Kentucky. Awesome. That's not too far. Let's see. Owensboro is more over above Nashville, right? Or over that way, I think. So, all right, let's go ahead and start this. And it is off and running. You can learn all about why watches stop 2 hours north of Nashville. As I mentioned, if there's anything at all you want me to run, just let me know. You can put the lot number in the chat. Oh, and here comes the winner of the giveaway. And it is going to be Dauphin Island Joe. Congratulations. Let me write your name on here. I've been to Dauphin Island before. Dauphin Island Joe. All right, that will be coming your way. Everything should ship out tomorrow. Always try to ship next day. So, hey, OnlyFans, welcome in. So for anybody just coming in, I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you see anything at all in the catalog you want me to run, let me know. I'm going to pull a few more catalog items. I also have, like, if there's any specific thing you want to see, like if you want to see postcards or photos or stock certificates or whatever, let me know and we can see what we have in the boxes behind me. Probably can build some miscellaneous lots of things. Okay, let's try these. So this is going to be lot 14. And I don't guess there's any way to pin or move things to the stage from the laptop, it looks like. So let me get it on the phone there. And let's pull out. These are from the 50s mostly, I think. So these are travel decals that would have gone on the back of an RV. And so you have one for Mackinac Island. Looks like that one might have been in a scrapbook at some point. You have New Mexico, the Spanish state. And this one, they were in New Mexico 11/20 to 11/13 of 1951. So that one is dated. Then you have Arkansas Traveler. Got the guy in his car with the guy on the horse chasing him with a gun. And then there's Missouri, the Show Me State. And then finally you have Texas with the bull and the 6 shooters there. So you're getting all 5 of those for a $4 start. And that is off and running. I'll run through them one more time while that runs. So yeah, I'm curious if anybody in here, does anybody in here collect ephemera of any sort? I know that there's not a lot of ephemera auctions on DibDit that I've seen so far. So I was curious as to like what kind of crowd I might have. But you know, one of my goals in life is to spread the gospel of ephemera because it's something that I love. It's one of my favorite things to sell. It's by no means the only thing I sell. I mean, I sell a little bit of anything under the antique and vintage umbrella. But yeah, and Kennedy's Castle. And I remember you from another platform, I think. But I actually have some bids out on a bunch of Victorian photo albums that end Friday night. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I get those because they're incredible. Like one of them's got 150 photographs, like a mix of 10 types and cabinet cards and stuff. And then the others are smaller, but still cool. I think some of them may have some Civil War soldiers and stuff in them. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping to get those. I'm curious how much they'll end up going for is the only thing. So we'll see though. All right. So I am going to show these maps, but if you want to see like what they look like unfolded, look at the pictures because they're going to be really hard to unfold and show here in the live. But there's 5 of these and they're all from Idaho. So let me go in and pin lot 3. Move to stage. I got to get the terminology right. So let me move those to the stage. And this is going to be 5 vintage. I think they're from the 1950s, but not 100% sure about that. But they're all different Idaho county / trail maps from Metzger Maps. So if anybody likes old maps, I'll try to see if I can, well, if you want to see it, just go into the item and look at the pictures. I took pictures of all 5 maps, but you have Blaine County, Jefferson County, Bingham County, Clark County, and Power County. And the thing I like about ephemera so much, especially letters, and is the stories everything tells. So unlike, I sell a lot of China as well. My wife calls me the China King in Knoxville because I sell so much China. But, you know, China has limited stories to tell. I mean, it's pretty, but hey, Mac Two Finds. But, you know, with ephemera, I mean, like the letters speak for themselves. I mean, and we have some old letters, and usually I'll read some of them, at least skim through them. Photos, you know, you can make up stories if you don't have a backstory. But that's one thing I like about ephemera so much. So let's go ahead and start this, and it is off and running. So yeah, Boy Scout memorabilia can be good. In fact, I was just at the East Tennessee Reseller Meetup this last weekend, and I met a guy. All he sells is Boy Scout stuff. I mean, that's all he sells. All right, no interest there. Like I said, if there's anything anybody wants me to run, just put that lot number in the chat. I'll get to the item with the pre-bid when I get down to it. Some of this stuff's kind of stacked on top of other stuff. Let's see if there's any interest in these patches. So, well, his name's Jason. So, Grammy Lisa. So, I was going to do choice of, say, maybe, let's see, let me see how much, I can't remember what I had these starting at. So, these are some cool vintage patches. I'm lot 12 here. If one of these does sell, it'll also be a good test for me of how to do multiple items. That just looks like a, well, okay, this says 68. It's just a tassel. Then you got STC Junior. Let's see. So I'll be starting at $3. I'll do like 2 patches. No, we'll do 3 patches. So a choice of any 3 patches. Tell you what, let me just put out a certain number and you can choose from those. So we have a bowling, Junior Bowling Congress. We have some kind of North Carolina, maybe North Carolina SA Thanksgiving meat. Then this one's pretty cool, STC Junior. It's like felt. There's Virginia AAU swimming team. Here's a Hershey Chocolate Town, USA, 1965 AAU age group meet. Here's an American Junior Bowling Congress League champion. Here's a Boy Scout. So speaking of Boy Scouts, there's a few Scout patches in here. I'll see how many I can squeeze in here that you can still see on the camera. There's the St. Midgets, or St. Christopher's Midgets. See, I think I can get a couple more. Here's another Virginia AAU Junior Olympics. And here's an ABC High Series National Annual Awards. So the American Junior Bowling Conference again. So let me put that. So let me run this, and it'll be choice of any 3 patches for a $3 start. And this is off and running. Not him. Well, yeah, there are a lot of people who collect Boy Scout stuff, though. I've sold a lot of Boy Scout books and such. So, all right, no interest in the patches, so we will put those down in the bin. I can always bring anything back if somebody comes in and wants to see something. So let me get these back in the bag. Appreciate everybody spending a little bit of your Wednesday afternoon with me. Like I mentioned, if you're watching over on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to come over here and join the fun, or you can just watch and see what all we bring up. Hey, welcome in, Gumhead. Thanks for coming in. Overstock, Rush Resales, Dove Love 88, Altonite, anybody else I've missed, appreciate you stopping by. I do take requests if you see anything in the catalog you want me to run. Also have quite a few things in the buy it now. Let's see if there's any interest in any postcards. Let me just do some postcard lots here. Let me go ahead and add that to the stage. Let's see, where are my postcard lights? Well, I'm trying to figure out what order these are in. There they are, postcard lights. All right, so what I think I'll do is I'll probably put like 10 postcards down to start, and then I'll start the timer, and then I'll keep throwing things down as long as there's bids. So let's, let me pull some out of here. I think most of these are like floral postcards from different seasons and such. Oops, sorry about that. All right, so here's a birthday one. I think all these are early 1900s. This one's 1911, it looks like. So you have that one there. Then you have Best Birthday Wishes with the purple flowers, 1911 as well. Here's one with just a bunch of different colored flowers. I don't know my flowers that well, so here's a Best Wishes, 1908. So there's 4. There's a Happy Birthday. They all have cool stamps on them too. What is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 more. Let me just go ahead and pull 5 more. 3, 4, 5. So here's a birthday greetings. It went to Souderton, Pennsylvania, but it doesn't have a stamp. So here's one with a lucky horseshoe. That one's 1911. Then here's a happy birthday, 1910. There's with love. And then you have this tree here. Best birthday wishes. I like the flag cancellation there, 1911. All right, so we'll start with 10, and I'm going to start the clock at 20 seconds, get a couple more in my hand, and I'll start throwing them down as long as y'all are bidding. So as soon as I get the first bid, I'll put them down. I'm not sure, do y'all know, does it increase the clock at the end? Like, so when somebody bids in the last couple of seconds. As long as you don't have sudden death on, I think it does. And I don't have sudden death. So, all right, here we go. We're going to start this. Hey, what's up, David? So here's a birthday greetings. I'll go in and throw a few in, even though nobody's bid yet. Here's another birthday greetings. All right, well, no interest in postcards. So y'all let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see. I can just start pulling some miscellaneous things out. We have some, let's see what these are. I don't know if anybody likes negatives, like photo negatives. I have a ton of those. Let me just go ahead and pull a couple more things out of the catalog here. So let me find lot 23. We'll move this one to the stage. All right, so these are going to be 1940s, 1950s U.S. Department of Agriculture letters. And I think 6 of them have the original envelopes as well. So these went to Heaton, North Carolina. Let's just see what's inside them. Actually, this one's sealed up, so that one will be a surprise, but it does have something inside it. I'm sure it's just gotten resealed from, the moisture that was on there. So here's one. This one's, I'm looking to see if there was a date, but possibly you have your potatoes planted, or we'll have them planted in a few days. You have no doubt taken great care in preparing the soil, fertilizing, and have disinfected the seed. All of these factors have an important bearing on the producer of high-grade seed potatoes. So, so this is from the cooperative extension work, and it looks like it's just making sure, he knows how to spray his potatoes and such. Hey, welcome in, James Jr. Yeah, there could be money in there. This one might be an empty envelope, so it might have had one of those other letters in it. So here we go. Here's an envelope that we can get in. If I can see where to unfold it. Oh, Beach Mountain. So that's a good big skiing area. So new in North Carolina, 1947. So this letter's all about Beach Mountain area demonstration and TVA phosphate. So if you collect agriculture-related things, this would be the lot for you. Oops, sorry about that. So then we have that one. I'm not going to take all these out, but there is a letter in that one. That one's got a letter. That one's got a letter. And then finally, here's one more. This one's from the Mountain Seed Potato Growers Association in New North Carolina. The bylaws of the Mountain Seed Potato Growers Association. So you're getting all those for a $3 start, and it is running. Thank you, James. So I've had some things listed in the buy it now, but this is the first live that I've done. So thought I would try my Ephemera over here, just see if there's any interest. I know this is more of a pop culture platform, but I have seen a few other people have listed certain things, kind of in the Ephemera category. So thought it was worth a try. Nothing lost other than, really nothing lost. It gives me a break from listing stuff, and I get to talk to people, which, you're in your basement all day listing things. Gets a little boring, so it's nice to have a little break from that. So, hey, Mousy Brat, welcome in. D. Malley, Tall Man, anybody else that I missed, thanks so much for stopping by. I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and bringing ephemera to the dibdit world today. So, all right, these are going to be, let's see, this is lot 26. So this is going to be a lot of 1970s and 1980s supermarket checkout line. Oh, cool. I went to school in Cookville. I graduated from tech a long, long time ago. So I used to spend a ton of time in Cookville. Uh, these are, what when you were standing in line at the grocery store back before everybody had their groceries delivered or went through the self-checkout line, they would have these sitting there and you could pull them out. So you have a babysitter's handbook. So if you got daughters or you're looking to babysit yourself, this might be a good book for you. Or if you're a divorced woman, here's one that's especially for you. Here's a dream book, The Complete Pocket Guide to Dream Interpretation. So let's just see if we have any specific dreams. All right, here we go. So if you've ever had a dream about a butterfly, that symbolizes the soul, while a white horse is generally thought of as a symbol of death. So hopefully nobody dreamed of a white horse last night. Yes, I do know Rouse. Let's see. Okay, so if you're dreaming frequently, it's advisable to assemble notes on 25 to 50 dreams in order to get the clearest picture of the overall personality in which they reflect. So if you're dreaming a lot, learn what they're all about there. Here's a 1974 horoscope. Somebody throw a birthday out and I'll read your horoscope as it would have been in 1974. So first one to throw their birthday in there will get their fortune or their horoscope read. So you'll know what to expect today. If I don't get November 13th. There we go. So let's see. There's March, September, October, November. Here we go. All right, this is for you, Mousy Brat. You can extend the strength of control in those areas most important to you during this second 7-day interval. This is a good time to undertake self-improvement projects, especially during the new moon on the 13th. I don't know if that applies to this year. The form that these projects take is up to you, but some hints are beauty, dress, department, mechanical skill, diet, practical knowledge. I think they covered all their bases there. In other words, actions taken right now can better fit you for greater success later on. The 9th is best for discussing matters with friends, associates, making new contacts. Be where you can see and be seen. On the 8th, don't unwittingly abuse business revenues, treasury resources, assets. Study extra hard on the 11th. However, your most positive days are the 12th to the 14th. When others look to you to lead the way, you'll find that changes made now will benefit all concerned. There you go. So let's go ahead and start this. 20 seconds. It's running. Oh, and there's also a little calendar from 1972 in here that has the zodiac signs. I guess on the other side, maybe. Yeah. So like there's Aquarius. Hey, thanks for the bids. So my first 2 bids ever on DibDit. And those are going to Mousy Brat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are my first ever winner on DibDit. So let me go ahead and just write your name on here, even though I have the lot number. So now everything after you, this will be $1 shipping for you. So oops, those did not sell. So yeah, for anybody just coming in, if you see anything you want me to run, just put the lot number in the chat. We're digging down to the item that has a pre-bid on it. So we'll get to that here in a second. All right, so this is going to be lot 22. So this is a 1968 to 1977 ledger, and then they've put a 1974 calendar on the front for Martin Funeral Homes. This is Oak Ridge, Clinton, Lake City, and La Follette, so pretty local to my area here. We live in Knoxville, but my wife works in Oak Ridge, and then my antique booth's in Clinton. So But if you look in here, like here's where they've put a letter in here from the, what is it from? It's pretty cool. Visit the Museum of Atomic Energy. So this is a letter from the electric company, it looks like. And then you have 1968, and this details all this person's expenses from 1968 through about 1977, I think. So you can see here, see what kind of stuff here's Texaco, $10. Home library service, $8.30. Well, let's see. Yeah, $8.30. And then they've numbered the transactions. So this is what you did before you had a computer. And then you have the calendar on the front. So we'll get this one started. This one's $3 bid and it's off and running. Okay. Let me write those lot numbers down. 1, 2, and 10. And I will pull those next. All right, no interest there. So let me see if I can dig down to items 1 and 2. Let's see. Let me go ahead and go up to the top here. Okay, so 1 and 2 are the photo albums, and I know one's got a pre-bid, and then number 10. Let me do 10 first. Oh yeah, this one's pretty cool. So let me pull the cigar box here. All right, and this is exactly how I got this. So I just left everything in here that was in the box when I picked it up. So, and this is a Perdomo Reserve cigar box. It's wooden. I'm not sure how old it is. And I don't know. It looks like, I don't know if somebody converted this into a little jewelry box with the handle. The clasp is a little rusty, but it still works. And then here's the bottom here. So there's not any tax stamps on it. I don't know if they were removed or never on there. So then if we open it up, you can see there's a label here and then a little mirror here. So, and then it says Girls Club down here. So this has some really cool items in it. So you have this 1942, it's like a postcard folder from Camp Forest in Tennessee. And if you look at this, it's got a lot of great imagery. So you have the guns. Let's see, did I miss anything up here? No, that's the first one. So there's a gun carrier, an anti-tank gun. There they are, passing in review. There's an observation plane. Late mess on the road, March. There's an engineer's pontoon ferry taking them across the river there. Oh, no worries. Thank you for the feedback. I will definitely show whatever anybody requests. So, and you're not monopolizing my time. So here's all the different chevrons that denote grade in the military there. I think that's it. I don't think I missed any. I mean, it's in decent shape. And then there's the front, and then there was the back. So you got that. You have this picture of this guy with his hands on his head. This was taken in Knoxville. So a local photo here. And then here's another wartime letter. It was from PFC Gene A. Stanford. He was at Service Supply. I think it's North Carolina. Oh, no, San Francisco. And this was sent via airmail. Let's just get an idea of, we won't read the whole letter. And hopefully this interests y'all. I mean, so this was written from the South Pacific, which is pretty cool. And 11. Yeah, they're all close by. So this is 10, so I can cross that one up. It says, my dearest aunt, I received your sweet and most welcome letter yesterday, and I was very glad to hear from you, and more than ever glad to hear you, sis, and me and Mama were together for Christmas. Let's see if they talk about, and you see, I see sis just can't stay away from Knoxville. Very lazy at a time. Very lazy at a time, can she? Let's see if they talk anything at all about like where they are or anything. Just somewhere in the South Pacific, maybe. So I know my granddad was Okinawa, I think is where he was. He was a medic. So anyway, whoever gets it can read it. But it was written from the South Pacific somewhere, so probably on a ship, maybe. So let me get this back in the envelope. So you have that military letter as well. And there's another one from 1938. So you can see, I'm not going to read this one. That one will be a surprise. Then we have a St. Louis, Missouri postcard booklet. So just different views of St. Louis here. I think this is pre-arch. So any booklet now is going to have the arch, but that one doesn't. Giving a flat tire the air. So that was from 1940. And here's an old Christmas card. It does, like, this part was glued on there and it's just hanging on by a thread there. But just a Christmas card. And then we have the Plaza Hotel in San Antonio, the Venice of Texas. San Antonio is cool. The Riverwalk's really cool if you've never been there. Des Moines, Iowa, corn capital of the world. 1937 is when this postcard book's from. So just different views of Des Moines. And here's another Camp Forest one. And so Camp Forest is in Tullahoma, Tennessee. So just similar to the other one. I don't know that this one, it doesn't look quite as old, but I don't know that for sure. But yeah, just more views of the base. So, and then information about the camp. And then here's a postcard booklet from Kansas City, Missouri. And whoever wins will get everything that's in this plus the cigar box. So, and then let's see what else we have. This is OR Bits. Is that Oak Ridge, I guess? Look at the atomic symbol. Retirement. Let's see. Frank Blakely. So those are people retiring. I don't know if this is like the Oak Ridge National Laboratory or what, but I think it's something with Oak Ridge. Yeah, Carbide Park. So I've been to Carbide Park before. Yeah, I'm glad you love this stuff, C. Wilson. That's why I like Ephemera so much. It's just fun to look at. I mean, even if you're not buying. So that's just an empty envelope, but it is stamped War Department. And it was going to Mrs. William Langley, U.S. Engineer Office in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Came from Cleveland, Ohio. Has the victory stamp, 1944. Then that's just a torn stamp that was in there. All right, so you're going to get all that. Let me go in and start it as I put it back in, and that is running. So there's Kansas City. There's the Camp Forest. There's Des Moines. The two Camp Forest postcard things are probably the coolest. Here's the Christmas card. Thank you for the bids, everyone. There's that postcard. St. Louis. Then you have that. Then the letter from the South Pacific, which is really cool. Then this one random photo that was in there. And then the more views of Camp Forest. So, all right. And that one's going to C. Wilson. Congratulations. Let me write your name on here. And if you weren't in here earlier, all this will ship out tomorrow. There's always sometimes I get a wild hair and I get it shipped out like the same day, but I never promise that. So I will promise it'll ship out tomorrow. So does anybody have any big plans for the weekend? This is actually my annual weekend to go. My brothers and I, every year we do a yard selling weekend. So we're going to Cleveland, Tennessee, and we'll spend the whole weekend doing nothing but yard selling. and estate sales. And then in the afternoon, we may hit some thrift shops. Let's see. Let me see what 11 was. Then we'll go back to 1 and 2. And we always find a ton of stuff. And then last week at the East Tennessee Resellers meetup in Greenville, which was sponsored by Rocky Top Picker, who lives in Greenville, I found so much good stuff, including this Ethan Allen piece of furniture from it was mid-century modern, probably from the 50s. Got it for $15. And when I started comping, it looks like it may sell for like $160. So that'll go to my booth. I'm not going to sell it here because I don't want to ship it, but that was probably my best pickup of the weekend. All right, so number 11, let's move that one to the stage. Let's see, where is that one? I think it's in here. Yeah, so these are interesting. So this is a bunch of press passes, and then a photo of the guy that I guess had these. Yeah, so I don't know of any particular big ones. We'll just look for them online. Well, I do know there's one estate sale I'm going to Friday. It's the one I mentioned that's got all the Victorian photo albums that I'm bidding on. They have an online portion of it and a tag sale. So I'll go to the tag sale because they had a bunch of postcards and stuff as well. So I am going to go to that Friday, probably get there about 10. It starts at 11, but got to get in line. And then from there, like we'll just kind of yard sell our way from Knoxville to Cleveland and then get up early Saturday morning and probably go Cleveland to Chattanooga. That's what we did last year. And we found a ton of neighborhood yard sales in Chattanooga last year. And so hopefully there'll be more. It's not a UT. There's UT as a buy, which is, you always have to consider that in East Tennessee, because if there's a UT home game, the yard selling's no good. So, all right. So here's the guy these press passes belong to, with this old style telephone and typewriter there. So I date myself a little bit, but my graduation present from high school was a typewriter. So, all right. And then if we open the bag here, here's all his press passes. So he was in the Capitol Press Corps, State of Tennessee, 1977. Then here's the World's Fair Press Pass, 1982, which I went to the 1982 World's Fair 130-something times, I think. I had a season pass, and I was 15. My buddy and I would jump on the bus, ride down there, and spend all day at the arcade trying to pick up girls, and then come home on the bus at night. All right, there's Knoxville News Sentinel, just Tennessee Media. There's another Knoxville News Sentinel. State of North Carolina. He's a deputy sheriff. So I guess that's not a press pass. There's press for the Greenville News, Greenville, South Carolina. So you kind of get this history of where this guy worked. Here's Department of Police press pass. And then here's Knoxville News Sentinel, 1972. That was a Knoxville Police Department one. Sorry for the glare there. And then here's a Knoxville News Sentinel, 1980. It's interesting to see how the guys age through the years. And then another Knoxville News Sentinel. And then a campaign one for 1984. What was that? Bush, maybe, or Reagan? Let's see. I think 84 was Reagan's second term, right? So that would have been during Reagan's second term. And then there's the Gastonia Gazette in Gastonia, North Carolina. Hey, I've been to Gastonia before. All right, so you're going to get all that. And let me go ahead and start it, then we'll run back through it while it's running. And that is off and running. So you have the cool World's Fair one, some police passes, and then just different newspapers. So, and then the big picture of the dude. All right, C. Wilson, thank you. And just to confirm, it did only charge you $1 shipping for that one, right? I think I set everything up right. I think the only one I did not get the progressive shipping on, and maybe I should have run it first for that reason, was one of the scrapbooks, whichever one had the pre-bid, because it already had a pre-bid before I started going back in and trying to set the shipping up correctly. I had it set up incorrectly to start with, so it might charge you if it's your second or third purchase on the one that's got the pre-bid, then I think you'll have to pay $5 for that one. But all right, so let's see. That was C. Wilson. Let me go ahead and write your name on there and put it with your cigar box. Yeah, so hopefully y'all are enjoying looking at this stuff. These next two are going to be fun to look at. These are the two photo albums, and they're both really, really cool. So we'll start with number 2 just because it's on top. So this is an old baby photo album, and you can tell this baby was probably a firstborn because they documented like every part of their life. So let me go add this to the stage. All right, so tell you what, I'm going to take this off of here so I can just move it closer. Okay, so this starts, and it's very well like documented too. It's a little faded here, but this is 1922, I think, if you look down here. Yep, 1922. So that's when this baby was born. And did I write how many photos were in this thing? Let's see. I can't remember you can look in the description, but every page is pretty full. So you got all these pictures of newborn. Then I guess maybe that's dad getting up the gas. So that's probably a grandmother there. Little chubby baby. Speaking of babies, I get to see my grandson in about a month now. They live in Houston, Texas, so we don't get to see them too often. But they're going to come for 10 whole days, and we are so excited. Looks like grandmother there. Isn't it a cute baby, though? This says Farwell's something trip 1922. Can't read. Farwell's Point, I think is what that says. So it must be like a park or something on the river. And there's our haystack, or on a haystack. Trying not to move too fast so I don't get anybody seasick here. Hey, Mama Bear Reseller. Welcome back in, David. Hey, Flippin' Ship. Anybody else I missed? Treasure Trolls, thanks for coming in. Here's lunch on Picnic Point. They're having them a nice picnic. Looks like they've got a fire going. Get the picnic basket. I love old pictures, just looking at like the stuff in the pictures. Like when you have inside pictures, looking at how things were decorated. And I always like to go, oh, I saw one of those before, or we've got one of those in our house. Look at him in his bassinet or crib or stroller or whatever that might be. Said him. I think it's a her. But I'm not sure. Guess we'll know once. Maybe it is. No, I think it's a boy. Look at that stuffed animal. Probably a homemade stuffed cat there. I would so pick that up if I saw it somewhere. Let me know if you want me to go faster, slower. Probably not slower, but hopefully y'all enjoy looking at these. There they are in the snow so it is a boy. When he first stood in the snow, April of 1923. There's bath time in the big bowl. It's like an enamelware type bowl, it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, like looking in the background of the kitchen, you never know what you'll see. That one says he looks to see if anyone is near, and then grabs for the fern at the windowsill. There's those. Yeah, I mean, these are awesome pictures. There's, I guess, their house. That must be one of the grandparents there. As you can see, there's a ton of pictures in here. This is my favorite picture in the whole album. This is Francis. So the baby's name was Francis. Francis' initiation into the tribe of Wisconsin Indians, May 1923. And you can see, I guess, doing some sort of ceremony on the banks of, could be Lake Minnetonka, and that the one in Purple Rain, where he tells Apollonia to jump in. So, there was the wooden spoon. On his first birthday, June 1st, 1923, almost has the same birthday as me. So there's that. That one fell out. There's with Howard. I'll try to go a little faster. I want more. But yeah, I mean, the number, it's just like I'm the oldest of three boys, and my baby book's buried complete. Then my middle brother's got a little bit less, and then my youngest brother has nothing. See the robin? The folding cup. Daddy, I'm tired. Please take me. There's one with an old car in the picture. Oh, look, there we go. There's a cool old car. And then he's in there driving it. The forbidden puddle. Guess he's not supposed to be in that puddle, but he is anyway. So we're up to 1923. I think a new baby makes an appearance here at some point. The other side of Lake Wingra, I think is what it says, 1924. All right, let me see if it'll let me. I can't remember. Can I change the time when I say start auction? Or is it just going to start it? I think it's just going to start it on here. So, I don't know. That's a good question. But they sure did take a lot of pictures. So I don't know what kind of camera it would have been in the 20s. But the pictures are really, really good too. Because I'm sure the viewfinder was not that great. There's a blank page there. Yeah, I was thinking I might start the auction and put like a minute on the clock, but I think I'd have to go back in and edit the items. So we'll just finish showing it, and then I'll run it for 20 seconds. Hopefully y'all are enjoying looking at the pictures. Look at the grandmother there, or great-grandmother maybe. Grandmother, summer 1925. So you got those pictures. Yeah, so we sent a bunch of videos here recently, like reel to reel videos, 8mm film, I guess is what it was. We sent it to iMemories and had them converted. And some of them were ones they were all ones my mom had given me. But there was one of my dad as a kid, like a baby or a toddler, would have been probably 1945 or something. And we were wondering how many people had home video cameras like in 1945. But it was so cool seeing my dad and his brother toddling around. So, okay. Thanks for that, David. Yeah, I knew people could pre-bid. I just couldn't remember when you hit start auction. I think it immediately starts it. Rather than, taking you to an intermediate screen where you can change the time. So no big deal. Here's the first bath at the cottage. So they're in the little swimming pool there, it looks like. There they are on a boat. Getting pretty close to the end here. So Oh yeah, look at them out rowing the boat there. And then there's after Mr. Hamilton trip to Kagunza. I'm not sure where this is. At the cottage. But yeah, I mean, these pictures are so good. I mean, they're just so crisp and clear. You know, there's no fingers in them. They're for the most part well focused. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not professional photographers. I mean, this looks to be a family you probably had was of some means. I mean, just looking at how they're dressed and the fact they're always on the move. So those have a little bit of a glare. They're kind of hard to see. I think that's it. I was thinking there was another baby that made an appearance, but maybe I'm thinking of a different album. Well, here we go. Here's the album. So the album was made 1912. So, or I guess that's when it maybe had its copyright or patent date or whatever. So, but the pictures are mainly all from the 20s. All right, so we'll go ahead and start this one. Let me put this back up here. And this is off and running. And we'll just, a ton of pictures in here though. It's like instant family. I just sold a picture at my antique booth, one of my antique booths. I have 3 of them. It was a bride from like 1942. I mean, it was a beautiful picture, but I always wonder, you know, they may have been buying it for the frame too, for all I know. But well, let us know what you find out, James Jr. All right, Mousy Brat got that one. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Let me write your name on here. All right, we'll go ahead and do the other scrapbook I have next. And y'all let me know if you want, after we do these, let me know if you have any more requests first. And then if there's not, let me know if y'all want to just start building some miscellaneous ephemera lots. I can just start grabbing stuff out of bags and we can put a little bit of everything in there. It's like if you don't collect ephemera, we can do some ephemera starter packs, I guess, for lack of a better term. Get you into the hobby because it is an addictive hobby and it's just a lot of fun. So all right, so this photo album. So first off, I'm just going to mention the photo album itself does have some condition issues. I'll try to show them to you. I mean, you can see the covers, you know, got some condition. It's detached. But the cool thing about this one is there's like Vietnam War era photos in there from Vietnam. So on the first page, I don't know if these are all his schoolmates, which I'm assuming that is what it is. There are some pictures missing in here. This was just stuck in the front. It was taped into something at some point. But it says, let's see, a picture of 146. I don't know. It was in 1952 at George Air Force Base. So has seen, you know, not in the best condition, tape around the edge. You might could trim it and make it look a little better if you wanted to. But anyway, that was in there. I tend to always sell these things as I find them with whatever's in it. I don't know if this was, well, I guess she's a student. People look so much older back then. I thought she was the teacher at first, but now that I look at it, I think she is, oh yeah, so then I think it starts going this way. So sorry about that. I accidentally knocked off the show. Here's To Frank from Dennis. So everybody's got names. So if anybody wanted to do any research, they could. Daryl Buffalo. Here's some kind of letter. Here's a Christmas card. I'm not going to take that out. So whoever gets it, you can just have a surprise. Then there's another Christmas card. Then you just got some random pictures here. I assume these are like family, just family members or something. Now, I think we're starting to get into the Vietnam pictures. This could have been really, really cool, but a lot of the pictures have been removed. I mean, that's how it was when I got it. So yeah, here's some more pictures at the farm or somewhere, it looks like. Some kind of like bulldozer looking thing there. Yeah, so you can see what used to be in here. Blown up bridge repaired, marine amphibious tractor, 2 buddies. So there's, there's still some in here, but not as many as there once were. But this is the 106 millimeter recoilless rifle with a tank behind him. So this was 1967. So this is, I was born in June of 67. So this was around the time I was being born. And once again, there's 2 pictures on this page. Here's the M113 personnel carrier. And then Chu Lai, Vietnam. I guess that's how you say that. Then you have a girl selling Cokes on Highway 15. And then M14 8x2 rifle and 40 millimeter grenade launcher there. And then me and some young Vietnamese friends on Highway 15. And then here's some Viet Cong propaganda. Our policy towards U.S. and satellite prisoners of war in South Vietnam. This one was taped in, just to point that out. So this talks about how well they're going to treat the POWs, which we know is not probably true. And just some kind of written, don't call unless you are sober. So it's somebody's phone number. And then you have some Vietnam money in here. Well, this is military payment certificate. They have like an actress on there. So once again, these are taped in. There's some more addresses. Well, if I can get the page turned here. Sometimes it's hard to do this stuff one-handed. There we go. And then we just have some Vietnam matchbooks and other little things here. Mr. Mote, reliable car driver. And then there's 2 matchbook covers. Here's a receipt from the Par West Laundry. And then I don't know if this is him with some, I don't know who the girl is. And then there's another Johnny's Liquor Store in Colorado Springs. Here's some transportation authorizations. Once again, everything that's not a picture is taped in. It looks like that's taped in as well. There's another photo. Doesn't have anything about it, but it's over in Vietnam, it looks like. And then there's his name. So there's car crossing bridge on Highway 15. So that's in Vietnam. There's an M16 rifle. Is that, I don't know if those are planes in the background or just spots. A new Vietnamese building there. And then there's me. Well, not me, but Frank, I guess. And here's one more of him making a muscle there. Hey, Mutt 70. Then here's an M113 tank. There's the interior marine track that ran over a mine. So I guess it's all jacked up inside. It's kind of hard to see. There's another tank. And then there it just says work. So I guess they're working. And like I said, I hate all these pictures are missing. They have switched to tape here rather than photo corners. There's my hooch. I don't know if there's a still or something there. And then just 2 more pictures. And now we get to 1969. So he must have made it home, thank goodness. But this is November 1969, and this is all around Banff. I've never been to Banff, but two of my kids have. But there's an elk in Jasper National Park. And these are all color photos. There we go, Banff National Park. So there is some, like, you know, little bit of like staining on the side. Here's ram horns. The Athabasca River, Banff, Alberta. I'll just kind of look at the VW Bug. We had a VW Bug when I was a kid. We had a green 1973 Super Beetle. Hey, Indiana 03. So more pictures of the Banff area here. There's Lake Louise. Now we get into some motorcycle pictures. So there's a little bit of everything. There's military, there's motorcycles, there's Banff. He was moving so fast they couldn't get a clear picture of him there. In front of a truck. I guess these are like Polaroids. They're very, very thick. Looks like a rafting trip, another motorcycle, a buffalo. Sunset down there. Sorry for the glare on some of these. Fishing. Just about to the end here. Yeah, so this one back here, it's like the picture is stuck to the paper. So as you get to the back, there is some like wear to these. Looks like at one time, and there's a little bit of staining. I think that's it. Let's see. Yeah, so that's it. So you got everything from the Vietnam pictures to these pictures up front to that. But we'll go ahead and start this one. Let me put the camera back up here and let's... Oh, I don't think I ever pinned that one or sent it to the stage. Let's see. Lot 1. Move to stage. All right, so that is ready to go. And we are going to start this 20 seconds and it is running. So I'll try to run back through it real quick while it runs. Got all the Vietnam pictures of tanks and stuff like that. The propaganda from the Viet Cong. The base money. Matchbooks. A receipt. More matchbooks. We got Mousy Bright. Took that one. Thank you so much. Hope everybody enjoyed looking at that one. Get all the... So the other bad thing about old ephemera, you end up with like all kind of dust and everything on the table. Old dust. So, Mousy Bright. Oh, sorry about that. Everybody's going to be seasick now. All right, I think that takes care of all the requests I had. So y'all tell me what you want to do next. Would you like to, or is there anything else in the curated things you want to look at? Just put those lot numbers in the chat. You want to look at, I know we did some postcards earlier. They didn't get any bids, but I can run through some more postcards, or I can just like grab a box and we can start pulling stuff out and like build some miscellaneous lots with just stuff in it. So let me know and I'll do whatever y'all want to. It's only 2:07, so I'll probably go to at least 3 or so later, depending on how it's going. So let's see. Well, let me tell you what, let me go ahead and grab one of these. I think these are really cool. We'll see if there's any interest. So this is going to be lot 4. All right, so what these are stereo view cards, but they're not like stereo view cards that you would look at in a stereo, like a personal stereo viewer. These were in a arcade machine that was a stereo view arcade machine. And so like here's, there would be 5 sets of these stories in a machine, and they were probably like a penny, and you would put a penny in, and then, this would probably move out of the way, and then you'd start seeing these pictures. And this particular one is the story of an ice cream vendor. So you have this guy here, and as you would probably look down into the viewer and it would look 3D, which is why there's 2 pictures here. But you have the ice cream vendor. You have this little girl up here saying, hey, Mr. Ice Cream Vendor, I would like some ice cream. So tell you what, let me just do this. Put that down. And so she comes over to buy some ice cream. He looks almost like a Jewish rabbi or something. And now you have these other people who show up, these other kids. They look like they're up to no good to me, but so now you have the little girl's got her ice cream cone. It looks like maybe these boys are going to try to steal her ice cream cone or something. I mean, this was entertainment back in the 1927 is what these are dated. So, there was no phone to look at, no internet. You just had to go to the arcade and look at these. And so now you have the little girl crying. And I guess this boy's taking the cone. I have no idea where the cart went. Maybe they've just run on down the street. So the ice cream vendor's trying to get the ice cream cone from the kid. And while they're doing that, these kids are stealing the ice cream. They're juvenile delinquents, I guess. And so he's got him an ice cream cone now. So now he comes back. He does not look happy. And finally, I'm not exactly sure. But there were 12 in each story, and that's how the story ends. So, yeah, 1920s juvenile delinquent crime. We'll go ahead and run this. Oops, sorry about that. Keep hitting this. Hey, welcome in, Violet. Welcome back, Kennedy's Castles. Hey, Ember, JG Pro, anybody else I missed? All right, let's go ahead and start this. So the 1927 arcade stereo view cards that tell this story of the little girl, the ice cream, and her tormentors. And that is off and running. Ooh. All right, looks like no interest in the stereo view cards, so I won't run any of the other sets of those. I actually have 3 sets of those. I'm not sure what the other stories are. I do have well, let's go ahead and do so. I do have yeah. I'm sure that they would just spend hours looking at that pneumatic flippers. I'm always just glad I came along in a time before phones. I mean, especially thinking back to college, not that I did anything terrible, but there were definitely things that I'm glad, didn't get put on Facebook or anything like that. So I always told my kids, I've got 4 kids, and, I always told them, be really careful what you're doing, because it's not just stuff you post, it's what your friends post or people you don't even know post. So, all right, this is going to be lot 36, and this is, we'll just call it an ephemera starter pack. It's got a little bit of everything in it. Actually, this already has a pre-bid too. Oh, I have a couple of pre-bids, so I need to look at that tab, but this one does have a pre-bid, so we'll move it to the stage. All right, so let's see what all we have in here. We have a postcard with some cows. This is Windsor Castle, so over in jolly old England. And it's Salmon series. I'm guessing that's 1920s. Then this photo does have a crease in it, but it looks like some kind of school photo maybe. Let's see if we can. It's like a smaller version of a yard photo. Oh, it's embossed with something. Let's see if I can see what that says. I think it's Albany, New York, maybe. Let me get my magnifying glass real quick. It's hard to see because, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know it's New York. It's something school. Allen School, maybe? I don't know. If you get it, you can try to read that, but it is like embossed there. But yeah, Albany, New York. So let's see who took the photo. Then we have I think it's just an empty envelope. During 44 went 57 Street something, but it's one of the old stamped envelopes, postmarked 1943. Then we have the St. Joseph Seminary Alumni Association. Let's see, I have no idea what this is. Greetings. Many thanks to all those who mailed in their questionnaire. So it's like looking for people, I guess, who went to school there. So just a mailing. Then here's a letter from can't read the date. Let's see if it's got a date on here. 1969. It's written in French, so I'm not going to try to read it. It is from Canada. So Quebec. So that makes sense. It's written in French. Then here's the Order of Railroad Telegraphers. I guess it's telegraphers is how you say that. 1965. Yeah, so it's something about union, the the Communication Employees Union. So looks like maybe they were having a disagreement with the company, the workers were. Then here's the Department of Justice, Immigration and Naturalization Service in Portland, Maine. So this is somebody trying to become a citizen of the U.S. And I guess it had instructions on what to do. Here's a wedding card. Here's a May God Watch Over You card. Now this one's got a nick out of the corner and a few creases, but the cute little baby. And this one's an older one. I don't know if that's a circus. It looks like circus tents. There's a bunch of old cars lined up. It doesn't say anything about it. And then here's more. Oh yeah, there's some kind of, it looks circus looking car right there. Then we have some kind of trade card, favorite wafer, or if you watch The Meaning of Life, wafer. Here's a bulletin for a church from 1942, the first Sunday after Easter. Here's an old check from 1942, the First National Bank. Here's another postcard from London, 1904. A few more postcards that are in here. Here's the swans on the Palace Moat Wells. Hey, DJ NSJ. Anybody else I missed? If you're watching over on YouTube or Facebook, thanks for watching over there. There's another Windsor Castle. Another Windsor Castle. There's a Casino Municipal. Looks French, maybe. Looks like maybe an advertisement. Looks old. I don't know. It doesn't have a date on it, but I guess it's an advertisement for this casino. Here's an ad for Oldsmobile F85. Looks like it came out of something. Maybe, it probably came out of a sales brochure. Look at those cars. They were tanks back then. And getting close to the bottom here. something that looks German here. Let's see what this is. Yeah, so 1985, maybe they were going on a tour in Germany. And then finally, this is really cool here. Hello. And this is San Gabriel, the pioneer locomotive of Los Angeles County. It's here. And if you look on the back, this was a press photo of some sort. International Newsreel Photo, San Francisco Bureau, Southern Pacific Railway, 60th anniversary of driving last spike and first transcontinental railroad. Locomotive San Gabriel was the first railroad locomotive operated in Southern California. So this looks like maybe it's from 1929. It's stamped May 9th, 1929. You see there. So a really old press photo of a railroad car. So you're getting everything that we just looked at. And let me go ahead and start this, and it will run. Start auction, and it is running. So you got some postcards and old letters. Probably the jewel of this one is the press photo of the railroad. That's some old letters and pictures and cards. I think those are circus tents, but not 100% sure. You have the old trade card. Postcards. Thanks for the bids, everyone. Some more postcards. The casino in Paris advertisement. And C. Wilson took that one. Thank you so much. Does anybody like stamps? I have a stamp album we can look at. I'll see what I know I have another pre-bid, so we'll see what that is. We'll run it, and then we'll go from there. Oh, so quick question for everybody in here. Does anybody like vinyl records? That's another thing. I mean, I have so many vinyl records. I have thousands and thousands of vinyl records between my booths and just what I have here. So I was thinking about maybe trying a vinyl record show over here. Cool. All right. Well, I'm not sure when we'll do that yet. I may do one afternoon, like of the ones I have, and then my brother found, I think he said it was like 350 1980s. They're almost all rap and dance stuff. So like a lot of LL Cool J, things of that nature. So I know we did a show on another platform one time of records from the 80s, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. Like we had every Prince album that had ever been issued going back to his first one. But in that show, it kind of amazed me, some of the ones that went for a lot of money, because I think like a Taylor Dane one went for a lot. And I don't know why, but anyway. All right, so let's see what my other pre-bid is here real quick. Oh, it's the Scout catalog. So where's that? Let me find that real quick. Where might you be hiding? Oh, I see it, I think. Yep, there it is. All right, so this is lot 33. Let me add this to the stage. No, I don't. But, yeah, so the best postcard lot I ever had, and this was on another platform, but I did an unboxing of postcards. I bought like a huge postcard collection, and it had probably just 12 albums of postcards, then probably another 10,000 loose postcards. And so I was selling the albums, kind of like I did those picture albums earlier. We were just going through them. And one of the albums probably had 40 Halloween postcards in it. And then another album had all these baseball postcards from the early 1900s. That was one of like the 1907 Chicago White Sox. And golly, it was the coolest find. Well, one of the coolest finds I've ever had. The person I got them from has some more, but they won't sell them to me. So I ask them every time I see them. I don't know that what they have left is as good as what I got the first time, but yeah, it was fire. It was cool. All right. So here's a 1963-64 Boy Scout winter catalog, and it's got jolly old St. Nick on the front with the scouts here. And if you look through this, it's just got everything that a good scout would need. You got your knives and your hatchets and lanterns, backpacks, cookware, rugged is the word, sleeping bags, tents. I remember canvas tents like that. It's not like today where it takes you like 2 seconds to put up a tent. Then you got your uniforms. There's your rain gear, I guess. Yeah, probably that postcard thing I got, and then the other cool one I got one time is, and I drove to Kingsport, Tennessee to get this. I bought like 4, or was it 5? It was 4 or 5 14 by 14 by 14 square boxes. So they were huge boxes. Every one of them was just full of ephemera. And there were probably 30 complete sets of cigarette cards, like from the early 1900s and late 1800s. And then just, it was just, and I looked at a few things on top and then just kind of bought them sight unseen and then just unboxed them on camera. I mean, it was fun. We were finding so much cool stuff. So, all right. So you have this Boy Scout winter catalog, and we will go ahead and start this. Just a $3 start. It does have a pre-bid, and it is off and running. So you got Santa Claus and Boy Scouts. How can you go wrong, right? We have Mutt 70 winning. It looks like Mutt's going to take that one. Thanks for the pre-bid on that. Mutt 70. All right, let me stick that there. All right. Is there any other things that are in the catalog that you want to see? If not, tell you what, I'll just start pulling some stuff out of boxes and we'll just build some lots. Let me go ahead and I think I have a miscellaneous ephemera lot. Yeah, there we go. We'll move that one to the stage. Let me just start grabbing some stuff. I have no idea what's going to be in here. I'll try to just make it a mix of stuff. And what I may do is like get 15, 20 items in there and then grab me another stack of stuff. I'll start the clock, and as long as y'all are bidding, we'll add more to it. I'm going to try my other glasses. It stinks getting old because I have to have so many different pairs of glasses. I got a pair of glasses for far away. I have computer glasses. I have reading glasses. And I just got some prescription reading glasses. And they make things really clear if I'm at the right distance, but then I can't see anything else. So anyway. All right, so here's a little Hymn of Praise calendar. This one's 1985. Actually, I'm going to switch back to my other glasses. Yeah, getting old problems. Here's some kind of Bible card, 1911. So these were probably ones they handed out in Sunday school or something. Here's a little gift for you card with some kittens on it. Looks like it had something taped in there at one time. 1950. Here's some Berlin Senna 2, I guess, movie tickets. I don't know what year, but it was $1.50. Guess that's what those are for. Then here's a 1957, some kind of tickets. Looks like maybe a ticket to ride on a bus or a boat or a train. Here's some little cigarette coupons from B&W. I think that's the kind of cigarettes my grandparents smoked. Here's some more little tickets. Here's the John F. Bauer Company Moco Made Like Coffee Tastes Better. The only still cut coffee cereal coffee. What in the world is cereal coffee? Does anybody know? I mean, is it like cereal? But uh, so you got one of those envelopes. That's some cool graphics there. Then we have, this looks like a film envelope. I don't think there's anything in that one. And then here's some mounting corners for photos. It was a sample pack. Let's see. Looks like there's something in there. Oh, and then there's negatives in there. Yeah, so it's got negatives in there rather than mounting corners. I'll go in. This was in the stack. It's one of the ceramic inserts for a ball jar lid, I think. I think that's what that is. Not really ephemera, but it was in the stack. Here's a letter from the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, 1974. My daughter just got hired by ORNL, so she already works at ORNL, but like for a contractor, but she got hired onto ORNL directly. Here's a Sons of the Revolution. This one's just 1997. And then here's a National Geographic map of Jerusalem, I guess. Jerusalem's holy ground. All right, so you got all that so far. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here's a cool photo. Here's a cool postcard. This is a Whole Delight postcard. Let's see if I can get it where we can. Yes, see how the postcard lights up? All the windows light up. It's hard to see, the moon lights up. So an antique Whole Delight postcard. Try not to blind everybody. Try not to blind myself. So we'll throw that in there. Let me grab a few more things and then we will, let me see if I got a photo. I'm going to put this in a postcard sleeve. There you go. That's in a postcard sleeve now. Let me grab a few postcards to throw in there. This one's 1902. Looks like these are all French. These look like maybe 1920s. Let's see what else. Here's another one of those little supermarket books like we sold earlier. This one's How Others See You. A psychologist tells how you reveal your true personality. What your eyes, your smile, your clothes, and your posture say about the real you. So got that. Let's go ahead and do this one. This is a Budweiser folding postcard. Somebody's put it in like 2 sleeves, but you can see it originally folded and sealed. But it's the Clydesdales. So I think that's a good place to start. So let me grab some more stuff so I can put some more in there as people bid. Tell you what, we'll do photos. So I have like a stack of photos. And as long as we're getting bids, we'll keep adding to the stack. And we are off and running for 20 seconds. So there's an old photo of my mom and a baby. All right, so we got a bid there. Here's a photo of a person and their dog. Here's Brad from 1959. These are stuck together. I think they're supposed to be stuck together. All right. C. Wilson, already have these in my hand, so I'll go ahead and put these in as well. So you're getting all that. Let me see if I've got something to put it in. Hold on just a second. I'll be right back. I need to go grab some envelopes. Let's see which one I need to use. I think it'll fit in that one. The other nice thing about selling ephemera is it's relatively easy to ship. So you just kind of stack and pack. But I mean, I sell a lot of china and a lot of breakables too. So I just don't sell them in live shows typically. Although I may try something like that on DibDit because you can control the shipping a little better. Oh, let's see. Who got that? C. Wilson. All right, I'll do a few more lots. And, I mean, I haven't looked at most of this stuff, so it's fun for me to pull it out of the box. So we'll run a few more of these miscellaneous type things. So let me see how this works. So let's see. How do I just duplicate, right? Yep. Okay, so that worked. All right, so here's a little vintage embossed card of some sort. Oh, let me pull. I know what I want to put in here. Where did those go? How about some die cuts? These are pretty awesome here. All right, so here's some birds. Let's see what else we got. Here's some hearts. They're overall in pretty good shape. I think like maybe that's supposed to be connected, but it's not. But overall, that's in pretty good shape. And here's this one. Let me turn this light on right here, see if that'll help. It seems like it got darker in here. Maybe because I moved that light. Yeah, I think that's better. So there's one there. There's that one. It says remembrance, forget me not. So, and I think all these are old. All right, so do some of those die cuts. Let me, I don't know what's on these slides, but we'll do a few slides. See if we can see them. I'm not sure what that one is. Yeah, these are just like somebody's house, maybe 1971. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that one was. That looks like maybe a military cemetery. It could be the National Cemetery. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think, is that where, I don't know if that's where the Eternal Flame is or something, maybe. Anyway. Yeah, and there's more. So I think that's the National Cemetery, but don't know that for sure. Is that like Mount Vernon, maybe? Does anybody know? All right, so there's some slides. Let's do some photos here. These are from the 50s. So This will be a good way to get into ephemera if you're not. You'll get a little bit of everything. There's Dan and Bad, something. Brad, maybe. Yeah, Brad, because there's Brad. And there's Brad again. So let's see, we got some die cuts, we have some slides, we have some photos. Let's see what else we can pull out here. How about some old bingo cards? I don't know if anybody does anything with those, but they're Pressman Toy Company bingo cards. We'll do a red one and a blue one. Let's see, here's some old letters. They look like they're just after World War II, 1947, but they were going to military. Let's just look real. We'll look at one of them. Yeah, so it's on Marine letterhead, 1947. Dear General, got your letter when I got off something, furlough. My mother had a question, so sent home for it or something. So anyway, looks like it's maybe a letter to a general. Well, if I can get it back in the envelope. What's that not going back in there? There we go. All right, so I'm not going to read all of them, but they're all from about the same time. It looks like they're all the same person, so we'll do 3 of those. 3 military letters. Oh, here's some more postcards that are a little different. Here's a Jamaica postcard. Here's a Havana, Cuba postcard. There's another Havana, Cuba postcard. Another Havana, Cuba postcard. Another Havana, Cuba postcard. And then there's Forester's Temple in Toronto. And there's Havana Capital, the capital of Havana. And then there's greetings from Clearwater, Florida. So we're a little bit all over the place. And then here's Nighttime, the Singing Tower. And then there's the Fauché Tower in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So let me get all this stuff kind of organized a little bit. All right, let me grab like a couple more things and then we'll start it and then we'll throw some more stuff in there. Let's see what all we have. Here's a couple of negatives. I have no idea what these are of, but I think they're black and white, so they're probably older. All right, let me get me a stack of stuff and then we'll start it. Let's see where I want to pull from. All right, we'll pull out of this box. All right, I'm going to start this for 20 seconds. As long as people are bidding, we'll continue adding stuff to the pile. And it is off and running. All right, here's like a religious Christmas card, it looks like. Here's a vintage fly fishing book. It was 35 cents. Here is, I'll go ahead and put this in here because I was getting ready to. It looks like somebody's account book with a credit union. Who remembers when you had these little books they would give you? And there's somebody playing basketball right there, it looks like. All right, Mousy Brat got that. And there's also a letter in here. All right, so you're getting all that. Let me grab another bag here. I think this one will be perfect. Hopefully you'll enjoy looking through all this stuff. What time is it? 2:43. I said I'd go to at least 3, so we'll see how it's going in. So I'm going to put these die cuts in a little sleeve so they don't get messed up. Let's see. I think they'll fit in a postcard sleeve. Maybe. Well, tell you what. Maybe I'll just get a little envelope for those. I think they'll be okay right there. All right. Thanks for the bids on those, everyone. And you are welcome. Let me write your name on here. Let's see. Mousy Brat got that one. All right. Let's see what else we might have. All right, so let's see, here is some kind of topographic map. I don't know what it's of. I was looking to see if we could find Lake Pinned, the Cabinet Mountains. Let me know if anybody recognizes anything I say. Does anybody know where Canaskew National Forest is? Lolo National. Oh, wow, it's in Idaho. This is Idaho. So we have like an Idaho topographic map. Then we have another Metzger's Custer map there. I have no idea what this is, but it's from 1949. Must have 24 hours to teach physical ed. Development of education in the U.S. So some kind of notes of some sort. Here's the Citadel Department of Athletics. Looks like it's a recruiting letter of some sort. So there's a Walt Disney World silhouette. Oh, who's been to the Varsity before? There's a Varsity hat. I went to the Varsity when my daughter visited Georgia Tech, and then again when my son was playing AAU ball down there. Here's a playbill for, it looks like Phantom of the Opera, 1986. Here's some sort of book plate, Father and Sons for Liberty. Here's a Tennessee versus Alabama ticket stub from 2004. Here's a 1965 Memphis State University commencement. We'll just put one in there. Here's a 1943 report card. Or no, 1949. He was born in 1943. Here's a photo of a soldier. Here's a Western Union telegram. Expect to be on way soon. Stop writing, love. That's all it says. You have to be very cheap with your words, because I think they charge by the letter or by the word. Here's a Franciscan monastery in Washington, D.C. Little souvenir travel brochure, it looks like. Here's a letter from 1933, or a card. I'm not sure let's see what's in there. Yeah, it looks like a card of some sort. Be a surprise. Here's some souvenir postcards of London. It's like a whole envelope full. This one's going to be a little heavier, so. Here's On Your Graduation. Let me put a couple more things and then we'll get it started. Here's a real photo postcard of wildlife on the Arizona forest. You have a deer and a squirrel. It does have a little crease in it. Here's the New Southern Hotel in Jackson, Tennessee. Here's another real photo postcard of the King's Palace in Carlsbad Caverns. And then here's Lamar Unit Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. And then finally, is that Carlsbad Caverns? No, Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. All right, let me grab some postcards here and we'll fill it up with postcards as people bid. So you're getting all this plus everything I throw in the last 20 seconds. Appreciate everybody stuck with me. Hey, Mchar. Hey, Tincher, Darren, Gapville, Bagger Bance, anybody else I missed. We'll go ahead and start this. 20 seconds. Let's see. Oh, I got to duplicate it. And start auction. Let's see if we get any bids. I'll go ahead and put a postcard in there. So there's a birthday greetings postcard, probably from the early 1900s. Ooh, we got a bid. So see if I can throw some postcards in there. Some early 1900s. There's one with a bird on it. And it looks like we'll throw that one in there. Oh, we got another bid. So these are cool with the little Victorian looking kids on them. All right, good get. And C. Wilson took that one. Thank you so much. Let me grab another. Fit that. Appreciate the bids, everyone. All right, I'll run a couple more lots and can probably call it a day for the day, but I will probably be back on here at some point. I don't have anything scheduled right now. But yeah, this has been a fun couple of hours. I guess I've been going since 1 o'clock, a little before 1. So let's see, that was C. Wilson. Hey, Flippin' Ship, Genesville. Let's see, put that right there. All right, anything in the last little bit here that y'all want to see? Take a last look at the catalog. Let me know if there's any requests for anything. If not, I'll just, I guess I'll build another miscellaneous lot. Let's do some stock certificates. So let me duplicate this. Whoops, duplicate. All right, so here's a South Puerto Rico Sugar Company stock certificate. Looks like it's from the 50s. Let's see. Here's another one that's a different color. This one's blue. Grab this whole stack. Oh, and then I have some old letters from the 1800s we can look at before I quit too. Here's a Peel Elder stock certificate. United States lines. There's an orange United States lines. There's the Grand Union Company. There's a Pan American World Airways. Gulf States Utility Companies. I love the artwork on these. Of course, now everything's digital. Let's see. Here's a General Motors. All the futuristic looking cars on there. Let's see. I think I have a few more in here. There's another Grand Union. All right, so let me grab just a few more miscellaneous things here to go with those. So we have the Patriotic Songs of America, Great Moments in American History by the Humble Oil and Refining Company. Oh, it had little stamps you stuck in. Looks like. So got that. Here's a slide of Pampa. Oh, it's in Argentina. So yeah, like isn't that the grasslands in Argentina? The Pampas or the... Here's an old map of Knoxville, where I live here. And let's see what else we have. Let me get another box to pull from here. Here's a antique birthday postcard. It's another floral best wishes. There's with sincere wishes. The pink really pops on that black. Oh, this one's cool. Let's see what else in here. If I can get it out. Here's a little Santa Claus card. I don't think that one's old. Actually, I don't think any of these are old, but they're like reproductions of Christmas, old Christmas cards. There's Santa in the saddle. A couple of Christmas trees. So they're die cuts, but they're modern ones. All right, just a couple more, then we'll get started. Here's a Love's Fond Message postcard. That one is a 19... I don't see a date on that one, but probably early 1900s. There's To My Valentine. Oh, this one's awesome. Look at the two kitties. And there's one with a pigeon or a dove or something with the hot air balloon in the background. You got that one. I'll go and get the rest of these in there, then we'll start it. Couple of owls. one's 1907. You got some people canoeing on a lake. There's some flowers with a Longfellow poem, and then a Valentine postcard. All right, let me grab a few more things here. We'll just get some more postcards. Let me go ahead and start it. And as long as y'all are bidding, I'll continue to throw things in. And that is off and running. See if we get a bid. All right, we got a bid. So to my sweetheart, that's cute. And then there's a token of true love. That's the same one, but it's got a different border. So, all right, perfect. Good on all that. And C. Wilson took that. I think I'm just gonna put this in with your other envelope that you won last time. So, because it will fit in there because it's a very big envelope. I think it'll fit in here. All right, hey, thanks for all the bids. I think I'm getting ready to call it a day myself. Get a few more things done today. I need to package up some things that I've sold on other platforms, go to the post office. So yeah, I went exactly 2 hours. Not bad for my first Dib show. So I appreciate everybody coming in. Stick with me. We'll raid somebody here in a second. Yeah, so everybody have a great day. Make sure, go to franklinhillventures.com. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. And everybody have a great day. Let me see. I think when I close, it'll just ask me if I want to raid somebody. So let's try that. Yeah, so we'll raid That's Living since they're doing games, toys, and clothes. So everybody have a great day, and we will hopefully see you again sometime soon.